I lost my career because of my daughter. Then she became my new intern. 1. I was mid-presentation when my world collapsed. The conference room held 20 of Chicago's most powerful developers, and I was pitching the biggest project of my career, a 60-story mixed-use tower that would reshape the skyline. My hands moved confidently across the architectural plans as I explained the innovative wind flow design that would make this building revolutionary. Then my phone buzzed. Then again. And again. My assistant burst through the conference room doors, her face pale. "Mr. Marlowe, you need to see this immediately." She thrust her tablet toward me. The headline made my blood freeze: "Respected architect accused of fraud and misconduct." Below it were screenshots of emails from my company account, showing me apparently taking bribes and stealing designs from smaller firms. The room erupted in whispers. Board members were already checking their phones, their faces darkening. My boss, Harold Winchester, stood up slowly. "Marcus, is this true?" I stared at the screen, my mouth dry. These emails existed, but I'd never sent them. Someone had accessed my account. Someone had destroyed me. Security appeared at the door. "Sir, we need you to come with us." As they escorted me out, I caught sight of the system logs on my assistant's tablet. The access timestamps, the IP address, it all traced back to one user. My daughter Lily. 2. The media descended on my house like vultures. News vans lined my street, reporters shoving microphones at my windows. My phone rang constantly, angry clients, former colleagues, friends who wanted explanations I couldn't give. I sat in my home office, staring at the evidence. The system logs were clear. Lily had used my login credentials 6 months ago, accessing confidential files and sending those damaging emails. But my 18-year-old daughter wouldn't do this. She couldn't. When Lily came home from university, she found me waiting in the kitchen. Her face went white the moment she saw me. "Dad, I can explain." "Explain what?" "How you destroyed my career. How you ruined everything I built over 20 years. Tears streamed down her face. "I didn't mean for this to happen. Zoe needed help with her internship application. She said she just needed to see some professional emails as examples. I only gave her my laptop for one afternoon." "Zoe Williams? Your roommate?" Lily nodded miserably. "She said she'd only look at basic correspondence." I never thought. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number: "Tell anyone about this arrangement, and your daughter pays the price. Keep quiet, and this ends here." I showed Lily the message. Her face went even paler. "Dad, what does this mean?" I realized we were both victims now. 3. The next morning brought worse news. My architectural license was under review. The state board had launched a formal investigation. My firm, Winchester & Associates, released a statement distancing themselves from me completely, as if 20 years of partnership meant nothing. Lily sat across from me at the breakfast table, both of us too shocked to eat. "Dad, we have to tell them I was blackmailed. We have to show them that text." I shook my head. "They won't believe us. And whoever sent this is serious about their threats." My wife Samantha came downstairs with 2 suitcases. My heart sank. "Where are you going?" "To my sister's." "Marcus, I can't handle this. The reporters, the accusations, and now you're telling me Lily was blackmailed? This whole situation is insane. Samantha, please. We need to stick together." She looked at me with disappointment I'd never seen before. "You dragged our daughter into your professional mess somehow. I need space to think." She kissed Lily goodbye and left without looking back at me. Lily broke down crying. "This is all my fault. I destroyed our family. I wanted to comfort her, but part of me blamed her too. Her mistake had cost me everything. 4. 3 months later, I was stocking shelves at Metro Construction Supply. The pay was barely enough to cover the mortgage, and every day brought fresh humiliation. Former colleagues would occasionally come in for materials, their awkward greetings making it clear they believed the accusations. Lily had dropped out of university to save money and spent her days applying for jobs to help with expenses. Every evening, she begged me to let her make things right somehow. "Dad, please. Let me help. I could get a job in architecture, maybe as an assistant." "You've done enough," I said coldly. "Just focus on finding any job that pays." One Tuesday afternoon, a young man in an expensive suit approached my register. He was buying premium materials, steel brackets, imported tiles, high-end fixtures. "You're Marcus Marlowe," he said quietly. "The architect." I braced myself for another confrontation. "Former architect. I'm Jordan Reyes. I develop commercial properties. I've studied your work, the Meridian Plaza, the Riverside condos. Your designs were brilliant." He slid a business card across the counter. "I'm starting a new project. 60 stories, downtown. I could use someone with your vision." I stared at the card. "I'm not licensed anymore. This would be consulting work. Off the books initially. Interested?" For the first time in months, I felt a spark of hope. 5. I met Jordan at a coffee shop near the construction site. He spread blueprints across our table, basic structural plans for a skyscraper that lacked any architectural vision. "The investors want something generic," he said. "But I want something that will change Chicago's skyline. Something only Marcus Marlowe could design. The work would pay enough to save my house. More importantly, it would let me practice architecture again, even in secret." When I got home, Lily was waiting eagerly. I told her about Jordan's offer. "Dad, that's amazing. Can I help? I've been studying architecture online, watching tutorials, reading about sustainable design." I almost said no automatically, but something in her eyes stopped me. She looked desperate to redeem herself. "This isn't some school project, Lily. This is a 60-story building worth hundreds of millions of dollars." "I know. But I could be your unpaid intern. I could learn from you while helping in small ways. Please, Dad. Let me prove I can fix what I broke." The next day, I mentioned Lily's offer to Jordan. To my surprise, he was intrigued. "Fresh eyes might be valuable," he said. "And if she's Marcus Marlowe's daughter, she probably has natural talent. Bring her along." Maybe it was time to see what my daughter could really do. 6. Lily's first week as my intern was painful to watch. She mixed up blueprint symbols, struggled with basic measurements, and accidentally deleted an entire day's work on the computer. But she never complained, worked longer hours than anyone, and asked thoughtful questions that showed she was learning fast. On Friday, she was reviewing the foundation plans when she frowned. "Dad, shouldn't the support columns be positioned differently? The way they're placed now, won't they interfere with the parking garage traffic flow?" I looked at her calculations. She was right. A flaw that could have cost millions to fix later. Jordan was impressed. Maybe bringing her on was smarter than I thought. That evening, as we packed up our work, I noticed something odd. Jordan had left some financial documents on his desk. The funding came from a company called Crane Development Group. Maxwell Crane. My old rival from university, the man who'd always resented my success. The same man who tried to steal my designs years ago during the Riverside project competition. This couldn't be coincidence. 7. I researched Crane Development Group online that night. Maxwell Crane had built an empire over the past decade, but his methods were questionable. There were rumors of bribery, stolen designs, and competitors who mysteriously lost major contracts. The next morning, I confronted Jordan. "You work for Maxwell Crane." Jordan didn't deny it. "I work for several investors. Crane is one of them. He's the one who wanted me destroyed." The emails, the accusations, that was all Crane's work, wasn't it? Jordan was quiet for a long moment. "I think you should focus on the work, Marcus. This building could rehabilitate your reputation." "My reputation was destroyed deliberately. Crane wanted me out of the industry." "Maybe. But now you have a chance to prove you're better than whatever games he played." I wanted to walk away, to refuse to work for the man who'd ruined my life. But I needed this job. My house, my future, my relationship with Lily, everything depended on this project. "I want double the agreed fee," I said. Jordan nodded. "Done." I was walking into a trap, but at least I'd be well paid for it. 8. Over the following weeks, Jordan's behavior became increasingly strange. He would make cryptic comments about Crane's expectations and seemed to be reporting our progress to someone constantly. I realized he was caught between his loyalty to Crane and his genuine respect for my work. One evening, as we finished reviewing the structural engineering plans, Jordan finally revealed the truth. "Crane knows you're working on this project," he said. In fact, he suggested it. My blood ran cold. "What?" "He wants to offer you a deal. Work for him directly, help design 3 more buildings, and he'll clear your name publicly. Admit the accusations were based on fabricated evidence. And if I refuse?" Jordan's expression darkened. He didn't specify. But Crane doesn't make empty threats. I felt trapped. Working for my enemy felt like betrayal, but it might be my only path back to legitimacy. "I need time to think." That night, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I heard Lily's bedroom door open. Through my window, I watched her walk down the street and disappear around the corner. Where was my daughter going at this hour? 9. I followed Lily through the empty streets, staying far enough behind to remain unseen. She walked 6 blocks to a 24-hour diner and slipped into a corner booth where someone was already waiting. Zoe Williams. Her former roommate, the girl who'd borrowed my laptop. I moved closer, positioning myself behind a pillar where I could hear their conversation. "I can't keep lying," Lily was saying. "My dad's career is ruined. My parents are divorced. Everything's falling apart." Zoe looked nervous. "You can't tell anyone the truth. They'll kill me if they find out I talked." "Who will kill you? Who are you working for?" Zoe pulled out a small flash drive. "This has everything. Proof that Maxwell Crane's people approached me, paid me to get access to your father's account. Proof of how they fabricated those emails. But if Crane discovers I kept copies..." She slid the drive across the table. "I can't live with this guilt anymore. Your father doesn't deserve what happened. But promise me you'll be careful. These people are dangerous." Lily pocketed the drive. "Thank you. This could save my dad." I waited until they left separately, then hurried home. When Lily returned, I was waiting in the kitchen. "We need to talk." 10. Lily's face went white when she saw me. She knew I'd followed her. "Dad, I can explain, just show me what Zoe gave you." We went to my home office and plugged in the flash drive. It contained hundreds of files. Emails, bank transfers, recorded phone calls. Clear evidence that Maxwell Crane had orchestrated my downfall as part of a larger scheme to eliminate competition. "This proves everything," I said, scrolling through the documentation. "We can take this to the authorities, clear my name, expose Crane's whole operation." As I spoke, the computer screen suddenly went black. Then a message appeared, remote access initiated. Drive contents deleted. We watched helplessly as every file vanished. My email chimed. A message from an untraceable account: your daughter has been asking questions. Make her stop, or she disappears. You have 24 hours to decide if you want to work with us or against us. Lily grabbed my arm. Dad, what does that mean? I pulled her close, my hands shaking. For the first time in months, I was truly afraid. Not for my career or reputation, but for my daughter's life. It means we're in serious danger. 11. I barely slept that night. Every sound made me jump. Wind rattling windows, cars passing on the street, the house settling. By morning, I'd made my decision. I found Lily in the kitchen, dark circles under her eyes showing she'd slept as poorly as I had. We're leaving Chicago, I said. Today. Dad, we can't run forever. And what about the building project? Jordan's counting on you. Jordan works for Crane. This whole job was a setup to keep me under surveillance. Lily set down her coffee cup with trembling hands. This is my fault. If I hadn't been so stupid with my laptop. Stop. I sat beside her. I've been blaming you for months, but you were manipulated by professionals. Zoe was probably threatened or paid to target you specifically. You're not the villain here, Lily. You're another victim. For the first time since the scandal broke, my daughter smiled through her tears. So what do we do? Before I could answer, the sound of breaking glass came from the front room. Someone had thrown a brick through our window. Attached was a note: running won't help. We know where you live. I called the police, but when they arrived, they treated it like random vandalism. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no leads to follow. Pack a bag, I told Lily. We're staying at a hotel tonight. 12. We spent the night at a budget motel across town. I paid cash and registered under a fake name, but I knew it was only temporary safety. The next morning, as we loaded our car to find a more permanent hiding place, I noticed a man in a dark SUV watching us from across the parking lot. When I pointed him out to Lily, the vehicle drove away. Dad, we can't live like this. Always looking over our shoulders, always afraid. She was right. Running would only delay the inevitable. There's someone I need to call, I said. Sophia Tran. She used to work in cybersecurity before becoming an architect. If anyone can help us gather evidence against Crane, it's her. I dialed Sophia's number from a payphone at a gas station. Marcus? I heard about what happened. I never believed those accusations. Sophia, I need help. Real help. Crane is behind everything, and now he's threatening Lily. Come to my office. And Marcus? Bring everything you have. We're going to destroy this guy. For the first time in days, I felt hope. Sophia had the technical skills to fight Crane on his own terms. But as we drove to her office, I noticed the same dark SUV following us 3 cars behind. 13. Sophia's cybersecurity firm occupied the top floor of a downtown building. She greeted us with grim determination. I've been researching Crane since you called, she said, leading us to her computer setup. He's dirty, but he's careful. We need insider access to prove anything. What kind of insider access? Someone who can get into his offices, access his computers, photograph documents. Someone he wouldn't suspect. Lily spoke up. I could do it. Sophia and I both stared at her. Absolutely not, I said. It's too dangerous. Dad, I'm 18. I can apply for a summer internship at his company. College students work there all the time. I'd blend in perfectly. Sophia nodded slowly. She's right. A student intern would have access to floors and files that would be impossible for us to reach. Against every parental instinct, I agreed to let Lily go undercover. It was our only shot at stopping Crane before he destroyed more lives. 2 weeks later, Lily started her internship at Crane Development Group. Her first assignment was filing documents in Maxwell Crane's executive suite. 14. Lily's first day at Crane Development was terrifying for me. I waited in my car across the street, watching her enter the building in her professional outfit, carrying a small camera hidden in her purse. That evening, she returned with disturbing news. "Dad, it's worse than we thought. I found a file cabinet labeled Eliminated Competition. Your name was on a list with dozens of other architects. Next to each name were dates and methods: bankrupted, discredited, blackmailed." She showed me photos she'd taken with her hidden camera. The list documented a systematic campaign to destroy anyone who threatened Crane's dominance in the Chicago market. "Some of these people committed suicide," Lily whispered. "Look at this one, Harold Chen. It says, deceased by overdose, May 2019. I remember reading about him. He was a famous green architect who supposedly stole designs. The scope of Crane's crimes was staggering. We weren't just fighting for my reputation, we were trying to stop a serial destroyer of lives. Did anyone see you taking photos?" "I don't think so." "But Dad, there's something else. Crane keeps looking at me strangely, like he's trying to figure out where he's seen me before." My blood went cold. "If he realizes who you are, I'll be careful. But we need more evidence. Tomorrow I'm supposed to help organize his personal files." "No. This is too risky." Lily grabbed my hands. "We have to stop him, Dad. Think about all those other families he's destroyed." 15. The next evening, Lily came home pale and shaken. "He knows," she said simply. "What happened?" "I was photographing documents in his private office when he walked in. I pretended to be organizing files, but he stared at me for a long time. Then he said, 'You remind me of someone.' 'What did you say your last name was?' 'What did you tell him?' I stuck to my fake name, Lily Morrison. But then he asked about my father's profession. I said he was a contractor, but Crane just smiled and said, 'How interesting. I once knew an architect who had a daughter just about your age.' I felt sick. Crane was playing with us, letting us know he was in control. 'We're pulling you out. Tonight.' Dad, wait. He invited me to a special project meeting tomorrow. He said he wanted to show me how real business works. This could be our chance to get the evidence we need. Or it could be a trap." Lily's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number: "Enjoying your internship, Miss Marlowe?" Crane definitely knew who she was. But why was he letting her continue working there? The answer chilled me: he was planning something worse than just firing her. 16. Against my better judgment, I let Lily attend Crane's meeting. Sophia insisted we needed whatever evidence Lily could gather, and she would wear a recording device hidden in her clothing. The meeting lasted 3 hours. When Lily finally came home, she was nearly in shock. "Dad, he confessed to everything. Right in front of me." She played the recording. Crane's voice was clear as he explained to his team how they'd systematically destroyed competitors, bribed officials, and manipulated the media. He even detailed how they'd recruited Zoe to target me specifically. "This is it," Sophia said when we brought her the recording. "This is enough to bring him down." Apt. Sophia led us to a service stairway. "There's a parking garage exit on the 3rd floor. We can get out that way." As we crept down the stairs, I heard Crane's voice echoing from below, "Find them. And make sure they understand the consequences of betraying me." We barely escaped, but I knew this was far from over. 17. We spent the night in Sophia's safe house, a small apartment she kept for emergencies. By morning, we'd decided our only option was to go public with what we had. The recording isn't perfect legal evidence, Sophia explained. But if we leak it to the media, it might force a real investigation. Lily uploaded the recording to multiple news outlets and social media platforms. Within hours, the story was everywhere, developer caught on tape confessing to fraud. But Crane's response was swift and brutal. His lawyers claimed the recording was fabricated using artificial intelligence. They filed defamation lawsuits against all three of us, demanding millions in damages. Worse, they released evidence suggesting I had bribed city officials during my legitimate projects years ago. Fake bank records, forged emails, fabricated witnesses, but convincing enough to muddy the waters. He's controlling the narrative, Sophia said, watching the news coverage. People don't know what to believe anymore. My phone rang. The caller ID showed my ex-wife's number. Marcus, what the hell is happening? Reporters are calling me, asking about bribes and corruption. They're saying you're some kind of criminal mastermind. Samantha, none of that is true. Crane is fabricating evidence to discredit us. I don't know what to believe anymore. But leave me out of this insanity. She hung up. Even my own ex-wife thought I was guilty. 18. The defamation trial began 3 weeks later. Crane's legal team was ruthless, presenting fabricated evidence that painted me as a corrupt architect who'd finally been exposed. Their fake documents were sophisticated enough to fool casual observers. Lily testified about her undercover work, but Crane's lawyers portrayed her as a troubled teenager making up stories to protect her father. They even suggested she'd faked the recording using voice synthesis technology. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Crane's lead attorney said during closing arguments, we're dealing with a desperate man who will say anything to escape responsibility for his crimes. He's even convinced his own daughter to lie for him. I watched the jury's faces and saw doubt. Crane's money had bought him the best lawyers and the most convincing lies. Sophia squeezed my hand. We're losing. Judge Harrison seemed sympathetic to Crane's version of events. When court adjourned for the day, I felt hopeless. That night, Lily found me staring out the hotel window. Dad, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. No, it's not. We're fighting a man with unlimited resources and no conscience. Sometimes the good guys lose. Don't give up. Please. But I couldn't see any way to win. 19. The next morning brought unexpected hope. Sophia burst into our hotel room with her laptop. I found his accounts, she said breathlessly. Crane's been sloppy about his offshore banking. I traced payments to the people who fabricated evidence against you. I have records of bribes, money laundering, everything. She showed U.S. bank transfers totaling millions of dollars, all flowing from Crane's hidden accounts to shell companies and bribery targets. This is ironclad proof, our lawyer said when we presented the evidence. But we need to verify these accounts actually belong to Crane. I can do that, Sophia said. But I need physical access to his computers to match digital signatures and account passwords. We were back to needing someone to infiltrate Crane's operation. I'll go, Lily volunteered. Absolutely not. It's too dangerous. Dad, I'm the only one who can get close enough. And this time, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Before I could stop her, she was already planning her return to Crane Development Group. But this time, Crane would be expecting her. 20. Lily walked into Crane's building the next morning knowing it might be the last time. She carried Sophia's advanced hacking device disguised as a smartphone charger. I waited across the street, watching the entrance like a hawk. Sophia monitored police scanners and security frequencies from her van. She's in, Sophia reported. No unusual security activity yet. 20 minutes passed. Then an hour. I was about to go in after her when Sophia's equipment lit up. Multiple police units responding to Crane Development Group. Reports of a break-in. My heart stopped. Is Lily? I don't know. We need to get closer. We moved to a position where we could see the building's main entrance. Police cars surrounded the building, but I didn't see Lily among the people being escorted out. Then my phone rang. Crane's voice was calm and menacing. Your daughter is safe, for now. But she's trespassing on private property. Come inside, Marcus. It's time we settled this like gentlemen. I had no choice. If I didn't go in, Lily would disappear. Sophia, if we're not out in 1 hour, call the FBI. I walked into the building, knowing I was walking into a trap. 21. Crane's office occupied the entire top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of Chicago, the city where both our careers had flourished and collided. He sat behind an enormous mahogany desk, looking like a king in his castle. Lily sat in a chair across from him, unharmed but clearly frightened. Marcus, please sit. We have much to discuss. Let her go, Crane. This is between us. Actually, your daughter has proven quite resourceful. Did you know she managed to access my personal computer before security caught her? Impressive skills for an amateur. He gestured to a small device on his desk, Sophia's hacking tool. Of course, this little gadget has given me access to all of your communications. I know about Sophia, about your legal strategy, about everything you've planned. My heart sank. He'd been several steps ahead of us the entire time. What do you want? Simple. You disappear. Leave Chicago, change your name, start over somewhere far away. In exchange, your daughter lives, and I stop pursuing the defamation lawsuit. And if I refuse? Crane smiled coldly. Then Lily has a tragic accident. Young people can be so careless around construction sites. Lily spoke for the first time. Dad, don't do it. He's going to kill us anyway. Your daughter is smarter than you, Crane said. But not smart enough. 22. Crane stood and walked to his window, looking out at the city he'd corrupted. You know, Marcus, I never hated you personally. But you represented everything I despised about this business: talent without ambition, integrity without pragmatism. You could have been wealthy beyond imagination if you'd been willing to bend a few rules. I'd rather be poor than be you. How noble. And how stupid. He returned to his desk and opened a laptop. Your daughter did manage to download some interesting files before my security team stopped her. Bank records, communication logs, evidence of my various business activities. Lily shot me a look that said she'd succeeded in her mission. But here's what she doesn't know, Crane continued. Those files are encrypted with a code that changes every hour. By the time you could decrypt them, they'd be useless. He closed the laptop. However, I'm feeling generous today. I'll give you both a 10-minute head start before I call security and report you for breaking and entering. Why? Because I want you to run. I want you to spend the rest of your lives looking over your shoulders, knowing I could destroy you at any moment. Fear is more satisfying than simple elimination. I stood up. Come on, Lily. But as we reached the door, Crane's voice stopped us. Oh, and Marcus? If you ever try to expose me again, I won't be so merciful. 23. We ran from the building, but instead of fleeing the city, we went straight to Sophia's safe house. She was waiting with equipment ready to analyze whatever data Lily had stolen. Did you get it? Sophia asked. Lily pulled out a small flash drive. Everything. Bank accounts, communications, blackmail materials on dozens of public officials. But Crane says it's encrypted. Sophia plugged in the drive and ran her decryption software. After 20 minutes, she smiled. Crane underestimated me. His encryption is good, but not perfect. I can break this. She worked for 3 hours while Lily and I waited anxiously. Finally, she looked up with triumph in her eyes. We have everything. Not just evidence of crimes, but proof of active ongoing conspiracies. This isn't just about destroying competitors. Crane's been laundering money for organized crime, bribing federal officials, even threatening witnesses in other cases. Is it enough? It's enough to put him away for life. But we need to get this to the authorities before he realizes what we've stolen. I made a decision that terrified me. I'm going back to confront him. Face to face. Dad, that's suicide. Not if I'm wearing a wire. Sophia, can you record everything while simultaneously transmitting it to the FBI? Yes, but... Then it's time to end this. 24. I walked back into Crane's building that evening, knowing it might be the last time I'd see daylight. But I wasn't the same broken man who'd been escorted out months ago. I was fighting for my daughter, my reputation, and every other life Crane had destroyed. Security let me pass. Crane was expecting me. He was waiting in his office with a bottle of expensive whiskey and 2 glasses. I wondered when you'd return. Ready to accept my offer? Actually, I'm here to make you an offer. I sat down and accepted the whiskey he poured. Turn yourself in. Admit to your crimes. Make restitution to everyone you've destroyed. Crane laughed. And why would I do that? Because if you don't, I'll destroy you the same way you destroyed me. Completely and permanently. His expression changed. You have nothing on me, Marcus. Nothing that would stand up in court. I have everything. Bank records, recorded conversations, evidence of bribes and murders. Every crime you've committed over the past decade. I pulled out my phone and played a snippet of his recorded conversation from Lily's wire. His face went pale. How did you get that recording? The same way I got copies of your offshore accounts, your communications with criminal organizations, and your blackmail files on federal judges. I stood up. It's over, Maxwell. You lost. 25. The FBI arrested Maxwell Crane the next morning at his penthouse. The evidence Sophia had decrypted led to raids on 17 properties and the arrest of 43 co-conspirators. Within a week, the truth about my case made national news. The Architectural Board not only reinstated my license but issued a public apology. Job offers poured in from firms across the country. Lily stood beside me on the observation deck of the building we'd designed together, Jordan's 60-story tower, now called Marlowe Towers in honor of our redemption. The construction was nearly complete, a gleaming symbol of what we'd accomplished together. Dad, I'm sorry it took so long to fix what I broke. I put my arm around her shoulders. You didn't break anything, Lily. You helped me become stronger. Below us, Chicago sprawled in all directions, full of possibilities and new beginnings. So what's next? She asked. Well, I heard Stanford has an excellent architecture program. And Marlowe and Associates Architecture could use a junior partner in a few years. Lily smiled. I'd like that. As the sun set over the city skyline, I realized something important. My daughter had never been my downfall. She'd been my redemption all along.